Hello and welcome to my first video that is not a vlog. I thought I would start by doing something that introduces me to you all, so I am doing a 100 facts about me. My favourite number is 9. I am 5'4". I have been an extra in Emmerdale and BBC's Scarborough. I identify as pansexual, which means I don't categorise people by gender. I went through a crazy Sims 3 phase when I was younger, and I would play for around 22 hours and then go to sleep and then wake up and do it all over again. My life goal was always to go to dance college and then be in the West End. That obviously didn't happen. I have 3 tattoos. It was really hard to name my daughter because I was a dance teacher at the time and I didn't want to name her after any of the children I taught. I love 50s music. I hate coffee, even the smell. I am right-handed. I am a real series nut and I get seriously invested. I'm a Scorpio, so is my fiance Heather. That means we can get along really, really well, and it also means we can clash really, really hard. I love eating and going out to eat. I don't have a favourite film because I love so many films. I hate horror films, but I can handle thrillers. I love country music, especially in summer, and I would love to go to a country music festival in Nashville one day. I love mushrooms. I really like being alone. I have danced since I was 3 years old and I haven't danced properly in about 18 months and I really, really miss it. I'm really afraid of heights when there's no banister or railing, so I can be high up as long as there's no chance of me falling, but if there's nothing there to like stop me from going over the edge, I'm not okay with that. I am a completely different person when I'm hungry. I named my daughter about a week after I found out that she was a girl and I stuck with that name all the way up until she was born. She is named after my sister Maya, so my sister's name is spelled M-A-I-A, and my daughter's middle name May is spelled M-A-I. I had 2 favourite teachers in high school and I still keep in touch with them to this day. I hate horses, cows, bulls and sheep when they are within the same vicinity as me. Like if they're in a field and I'm on the road or the path, that's totally okay, but once I'm in the same place as them, no thank you. I did not expect to become a mum so young, but it's the best thing that I've ever done. I love the smell of wood, and if I could have a candle that smelled purely of actual wood, I would want that. Sometimes I will go into hardware stores and just go into the wood aisle and just smell the wood because I think it's amazing. I love McDonald's, but KFC makes me vomit. I forget pretty much everything. I have the world's worst memory. I am a mix of an introvert and an extrovert. I am a really messy person, but I like things to be neat and tidy. So I love it when my house is clean and tidy, but I don't like doing that myself. Yeah. My favourite cake comes from a place called Naffy's in Bradford. I think it's called that. Wait, is it? No. Sometimes I call it Zaffy's. Wait. I'm going to double check this fact and I'll write it along the bottom because it's either called Naffy's or Zaffy's. Whichever one I say, I always get it wrong. But it's amazing. I have a younger brother and a younger sister. They're actually not that young anymore. One of them's 19 and one of them's 17. I really miss high school. And I know this is probably a very unpopular thing to say and not very common at all, but I really miss it. Like, I hated it during the time, but now that I'm not in high school and I don't have that and I don't have my little group of friends and my little routine every day, I miss that. I am not religious. I don't like cartoons except some Disney, like I can hack the Disney ones, but I'm always way more excited for the live action version. I was in hospital for a week when I was 18 because I had sepsis and I nearly died. I had braces for around 10 months when I was 13. If money was no object, I would homeschool my daughter whilst traveling the world and show her everything. I think that would be so cool. I once spent a fortune on a white Levi hoodie and the very next day my daughter got oil on it from the bottom of a ferry. It's still there, but I still wear it. I love vintage cars. I am engaged and I would like to get married outside. My favourite animal is any wild cat, so tigers, lions, cheetahs, leopards, all that jazz. I have way too many favourite books, but one of my favourites of all time is called The Shock of the Fall, and it's by Nathan Filer. It's about a 19-year-old boy who's learning to deal with the loss of his older brother. It's so well written. If you have not read that book, please go read that book. I am not a huge dessert person. I much prefer a starter and a main. My favourite drink is Pepsi Max. I do not like alcohol. My favourite fictional characters are the Artful Dodger and the Mad Hatter. My celebrity crush is Bridget Lundy. She plays Casey in Atypical. Disney World, Florida is my favourite place on earth. The best theatre show that I have ever seen is Jagged Little Pill, and I saw that on Broadway. I would never want to time travel. If I could have a meal with 4 people who were dead or alive, it would be Walt Disney, Audrey Hepburn, Emma Watson, and Ellen DeGeneres. On a scale of 1 to 10 of how funny I am, I would say I'm a 10. Heather would probably say I'm a 3. I am very lucky to still have all 4 of my grandparents. If I had been born a boy, I would have been called Oliver. I never came out. I just introduced people to my girlfriend. I never came out when I was going out with a boy and announced that I was seeing a boy, so I didn't see why I would have to do that because I was seeing a girl. My biggest accomplishment is my daughter. I used to be terrible at eating breakfast and I'm a lot better now. I have been learning to drive since I was 18 years old and I am 23. When I first got my house, I wanted to do the whole thing grey and white because that was the trend at the time, but I gave myself a slap on the wrist and told myself to inject some colour, so I did, and I'm really happy now that I did that because I find grey and white houses really boring. I get super intensely hooked on things for a very short period of time. Most people don't like me when they first meet me. If I could tell my 15-year-old self something, it would be, you won't care what they think of you one day. I have a dog and 2 cats. My dog is called Pickle because the first thing that she ate when I got her was a pickled onion crisp. And my cats are called Mister and Bobbin, and Bobbin lives outside. Not because we make him live outside, he wants to live outside. I used to make my dad queue for ages to get on a roller coaster at like Alton Towers and stuff, and then when we would get to the front of the queue, I would chicken out and we would leave. My whole family went to an indoor shooting range in Florida, and before it was even my turn, I started crying and had to leave the room. Apparently I have a major phobia of guns, and I didn't know that. I just found the whole experience really intense, and I didn't like holding the gun, and I was listening and watching it, and you like wear these what are they called, like earmuff things to like dull the sound and stuff, and obviously you're not shooting at anything other than a piece of paper that's kind of like quite far away, and my sister was about 14 at the time, and I'm pretty sure she did it. I went in to do it with them, and then was watching, I think, my dad do it, and a couple of other people had already done it, and I was just holding the gun and shaking and crying, and I couldn't actually shoot the gun. I had to leave and not watch anymore because I just found the whole thing really uncomfortable and horrible. So yeah, there you go. I love board games and pub quizzes. I am all about that. My favourite holiday is Christmas. If I were a Disney character, I would be Meg from Hercules because, well, anyone that knows me knows that I would be Meg from Hercules. I either reply to texts straight away, like embarrassingly fast, or I don't reply to texts for like 3 months. There's no in between. I make amazing Yorkshire puddings, if I may say so myself, but I always make too much batter, so I will do 2 batches, but whilst we're eating the first batch, I'll be cooking the second batch, and every single time, without fail, I will burn the second batch to an actual crisp, to a point where they are so black and so hard that you can touch them and they will disintegrate. When I was doing music GCSE, I was told that I would probably fail, and I didn't. I got a B. They weren't trying to use reverse psychology. This teacher was just not a nice person. And she was telling me that I was going to fail because she genuinely believed that I would fail, and I wasn't one of those people that was like, okay fine, watch me. I didn't do that. I just somehow managed to get a B. It was not from want of trying. I have seen 3 shows on Broadway, and lots of shows on the West End. The 3 that I've seen on Broadway were Mean Girls, The Christmas Spectacular and Jagged Little Pill. I am terrible at geography. I could not tell you where any countries are. The other day I thought, wait, where did I even think? Why were we even talking about? Don't know. But wherever it was, I thought it was down like near Spain, and I'm pretty sure it was like up near Iceland or something. Being a musical theatre geek like my whole life, one of my idols is Carrie Hope Fletcher, and I once met her at a meet and greet after Heathers the Musical in London, and I didn't say a word. It was very awkward for me. I really love conspiracy and murder documentaries. My favourite one today is Abducted in Plain Sight. It's amazing. It makes your head go crazy. I don't like chocolate spread. Sorry. My sister once got mistaken for Madeleine McCann at the airport. She is not Madeleine McCann, by the way. I hate being told what to do, and the rebellious teen inside of me will purposefully do the opposite of what I'm told to do, or want to do the opposite of what I'm told to do, even if that is to my detriment. On a more serious note, I take emotional stabilizer medication because I don't feel emotions rationally. So that basically means that I could be super angry for no reason or sad for no reason, and I can't feel the positive things like compassion and devotion and stuff like that easily. Like, they don't come naturally to me. It's a strand of depression. Woo! Way to keep the video lighthearted. I have a really strange fixation with stars. I have 1 sugar in my tea, and I generally have one every morning. My favourite word is discombobulate. I have 3 cousins, one of whom is studying physics at Oxford right now. I am not that clever. Is it Cambridge or Oxford? One of the 2. I was an actual nightmare in high school, but somehow I had the teachers wrapped around my little finger. I got away with everything. I once worked consistently on a history project for like a month, and it was about the slave trade, and it was a diary entry from the view of a slave, and I wrote the whole thing in Swahili with English translations, and I don't feel like I got enough credit for that. My guilty pleasure music love is Taylor Swift. The old stuff, not the new stuff. I can't see 3D properly because my eyes perfectly outweigh each other on the long-sighted, short-sighted scale. I used to have my belly button pierced until I got pregnant, and it kind of went away. I am very sarcastic and have an exceptionally dry sense of humour. Some people get very offended by that. When I was 2, I choked on a penny, and my mum threw me over her lap and hit me so hard until it came out. My dad is a paramedic, and I am really proud of that. Shout out to you if you're watching, Dad. I love nachos, but only with cheese, sour cream and salsa. No to the guacamole and the jalapenos, thank you. I hate talking to people on the phone. I love joggers and pajama bottoms, and I am generally wearing them. If I'm in the house, I'm definitely wearing them. If I'm leaving the house, like 60% of the time, I'm still wearing them. I walked before I was a year old. I once left my MacBook on the roof of our car, and we drove off, and it flew off the back and landed in the middle of the road. But it is still alive, so all credit to it. So there you have it. There are 100 facts about me. If you liked this video, please give it a like. Please subscribe to the channel. I am at the moment doing daily vlogs because of the whole quarantine thing, and I plan to do weekly vlogs when the quarantine is over and we're allowed to return to normal. But for now, yeah, leave me a comment if you fancy it, like the video, give me a subscribe, and I'll see you again when I do something else. I am not... Wait, what? Damn it, what's it called? Scratch. One of whom? I can't remember who. Oh, fuck. Did she? Maybe she didn't. I can't remember. I feel like someone's listening to me from the hallway. I don't think I even said my name. That's not what I meant to say. It's the... Heather? Heather? Are you outside?